Hello and welcome to Ask Amanda Now. I'm your host, Strata lawyer Amanda Farmer, and this is our short Friday afternoon session where I have chosen one Strata question to answer for you. We're heading out live to the Your Strata Property Facebook page. We're going out to YouTube. Hello to all our friends on LinkedIn as well. I hope you had a fantastic week in Strata. I'm here live most Fridays, sometimes with a longer Friday live, a wrap up of the week that was, and other times, like today, with a shorter swing by to answer a Strata question that one of you has asked of me earlier in the day, whether you've sent it to my inbox after getting our email call out or you have posted it here on the page. I've definitely chosen one of those to answer for you today. I am in Sydney at the moment, away from my country home in our Sydney digs here, enjoying the week that has been in Sydney. Crazy weather. It's just wild. Hang on to your hat and your pants and your everything, hair at the moment in Sydney. Hope you're okay, safe and sound and not too leaky in your Strata buildings. We'll be heading back to the country next week, but catching up with some friends and some family here. Still school holidays for us, and those of you who have young kids, I know getting through the school holidays as you also balance the back to work week. First week back for many of you. I hope you have settled in. If you're here live, I love to see your hellos. Feel free to drop me a hello here in the comments or let me know that you have tuned in to the replay. Sean M is here saying hello. Great to see you, Sean M. Lots of questions that have come through in response to our call out. There's a few questions that on my quick read of them we have answered previously, whether on a live or in a podcast, and where the team can pick that up and direct you to our resources, whether they are resources inside our membership or resources on a podcast or on a previous live chat. The team will reply to you, whether in your email or here on the page, to let you know where you can tune in, access that resource, and get the answer to your question that may have been asked previously. Some of your questions that come through are very long and very specific to your own situation. Please know that I do tend to choose those shorter, more straightforward, simple questions that I think are going to benefit the most number of people who are tuning in. Shauno is here too. Hey Sean, how you going? Bill and Ben saying big hello. Bill and Ben did indeed send through a question. I'll see if I remember to come back around to that one. Bill and Ben, you posted that one here on the page as well, if anyone wants to have a look at that. Lol. Yes, I thought it was a bit of a lol, but hey, I'm going to give it a stab. Remind me. Joanne is here. Hey Joanne, how you doing? All right, we're going to dive straight in, as we like to do on an Ask Amanda Now session. Bring up today's question, please, Rochelle. As I just say a quick hello here to Kate from Newcastle. How you doing, Kate? Today's question that I have chosen comes from Jane. Jane is asking, do emails between committee members need to form part of the owner's corporation's records? Now, this is definitely one that I have been asked before. I have given advice on this one in my legal practice a few times. I have sought advice and guidance from a barrister on this question on behalf of a building in the past, because it has come up. It came up as recently as the end of last year when I was attending a general meeting as a proxy holder for a lot owner who was seeking access to records. I was asked to turn my mind to this before the general meeting so that we'd be prepared to answer some questions about accessing records in general meeting. It's something that does come up often. And I think I did give it a bit of a drive-by in a chat with Rena Van Alst, Strata manager, on the podcast a few weeks ago. We were sort of debating this limit. Are there any limits on lot owners' rights to access records of the owner's corporation? Rena had raised concerns about access to private, we're going to say, emails between committee members, do owners have rights to access that? So it is something that many of you I know have been thinking about. We do talk about records and access here a lot when it comes to Strata. So thought we'd give this one a swing around. Jane, if you're tuning in, please do let me know. I think this one might have come through the inbox today. Petra, good afternoon to you. Oh, Luke saying, oh, great question. I'm glad you think so, Luke. Kareem, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so those of you who have been with me, been tuning into the Amanda Show for a little while now, some years now, you will have heard me say previously that owners have a right to access all records under the custody or in the control of their owners corporation. That is a right in New South Wales that is set out in section 182 of the Strata Schemes Management Act. Make an appointment to inspect the records, and an owners corporation must produce a whole range of records that are listed there in section 182, including all records under the control or in the custody of the owners corporation. Does that include emails? Yes. That does include emails that may be sent to the Strata manager, that the Strata manager may send to owners, that the Strata manager may send to the committee, that the committee may send to the Strata manager. But I know from a bit more detail that's in Jane's question, Jane's asking about, what about these emails that fly around between committee members? They may not hit the Strata manager's inbox. The Strata manager may not be copied on that. Strata managers may be saying, thank goodness, we don't want to have anything to do with that. We get enough emails as it is, but we know, and I know, I sit on the committee in my building. I know that there are many, many emails that go back and forth between committee members, and the Strata manager or the Strata manager's office may never know about those. They sit in the committee members' personal email accounts. And that can be a frustration for owners who are then asking to access records of the owners corporation that they are not seeing these emails. Now, my opinion on this is that it depends on the content of the email. Are the committee members discussing owners corporation business? Are the committee members communicating with each other or with other lot owners in their capacity as committee members? Here's an example for you that I often use. If one committee member is sending a Christmas greeting to another committee member, or saying, hey, Bob, it was great to see you down in the car park the other week. Why don't you swing by, have a glass of wine to ring in the new year? That is not an email that one committee member may be sending to another in their capacity or in their exercise of function as committee members. That's just a friendly email, nothing to do with owners corporation business. So it is not an email that is in the custody or control of the owners corporation. And I say this reminding you that committee members are representatives of the owners corporation. So we're thinking about emails in the custody or control of the owners corporation. We also need to think about emails in the custody or control of the Strata committee, but they must be emails about owners corporation business. So an email that is forwarding on one committee to another a quote from an engineer, or a report that's come in from an engineer, or a record of a discussion that one committee member has had with a contractor on site, letting other committee members know, hey, I saw the gardener downstairs the other day and she let me know that we need to attend to some of the plants. We might need some replacements. Let's get that on our list. That, in my view, is an email that one committee member is sending in their exercise of functions as a committee member. It is an email that is in the custody or under the control of the owners corporation, and is therefore an email that should be produced for inspection. Maybe this is a controversial idea, and I am the first to say, to acknowledge, to admit, there are many emails that meet this description that I'm talking about that are absolutely not with the Strata manager, not in the Strata manager's records, that are therefore not produced for inspection. Is that a problem? Yeah, I think that is a problem. And where you might have a clever Annoying might be another description for some people. Owner who understands this concept, who maybe gets lawyered up, pays for a strata lawyer to make this argument that these emails, these records should be produced in response to an inspection request. I think there's a pretty good argument that a lawyer could put to, or an educated owner could put to the tribunal to say that committee members should be compelled to produce these emails. One of the objections that was put to me just a few months ago when I was preparing for this general meeting I was talking about earlier was that these are private email accounts. These are private emails of committee members. How can they be expected to open up their private email accounts to owners? That is not the expectation, that anybody opens up their private email account or opens up their private emails to owners. But where there are emails that relate to, contain owners corporation business, where committee members are carrying out owners corporation business, exercising their functions as committee members, then those records should form part of the owners corporation's records and be made available for inspection. That is my view. Heading over to these comments to see what you think about that. Sean M saying, another way to look at this were paper letters between committee members in the past meant to form part of books and records. Yeah, there probably weren't many paper records, Sean M. I imagine a lot was done verbally. And you know what, committee members, look, I'm not here to tell you how to get around the law, but if you're going to have a communication that you don't want people to have access to, then, you know, the old-fashioned way, have a chat, knock on a door, have a coffee, communicate verbally. That may make things a little difficult for owners to be able to tap into, to be able to access. That's kind of the way in this modern day that I imagine committee members who are conscious of this requirement may be communicating. But we're just so used to now firing off emails and not realizing, as we may have realized if we had to write a letter or had to get the typewriter out, that this is a record of the owners corporation. Hey, Maureen. Lucas saying, technical answer would be yes, they should if it relates to matters to do with the management of the OC. Yep, great way to put it, Luke. Petra is saying, if it's important, I CC it to the strata manager. I love that, Petra. As I said, I'm a committee member in my own strata community, and it is very often the case that committee members are emailing each other about matters related to on-site things. You know, recently it was the new gate, the new garage driveway gate that we have. Is it the right color? We think the color's a bit weird. What do you guys think? I'm not on site. I don't see the color. So there's all these emails going back and forth. Strata manager really doesn't want to have anything to do with that. But when the decision is made to then let's contact the gate installer and ask them about why the color is slightly different, strata manager then gets copied in and is given the instruction to please communicate with the contractor and have them come back and look at the color of the gate. Strata manager is then getting that full email trail that has happened between the committee members, and that is then on file. So I agree with you. If it's important, copy the strata manager. I also think once you have exhausted perhaps that back and forth between the committee, flick a copy of that trail to the strata manager so that they can then file it, assuming that they have that function to be the custodian of your records. Always remembering that purchasers coming in, owners wanting to search the records should be able to, legally I say, should be able to access that conversation and be able to trace back how it is that the committee may have come to that particular conclusion. Hey, Kristen, how you doing? No worries, being late to the party there. Daryl is saying, what a week for the hunter, and there's more to come. Yeah, tough weather up there, Daryl. Kate saying, so glad I stumbled on your page. As someone considering purchasing into a strata building for the first time, this is all very new to me. My question wasn't answered here, but I just found a podcast episode of yours that might answer it for me. So thank you. Thank you very much, Kate, for saying that. Yes, if we see your questions come in and we do have an answer to them previously on a podcast or in a live chat, we will absolutely direct you. The team is always on top of that, direct you to where you can go to get that question answered. And if we can't help you that way, then we definitely invite you to join the Your Strata Property online membership community. That's the place you can go to ask your very unique question, if that's what it is, in our members Q&A forum. Give me more information, have a bit of a back and forth with me as we narrow down exactly what's going on and get my written answer to your particular question. I pop into that forum regularly, answering questions. We've got some great growing Strata experts, blossoming Strata experts in there who are helping out our members as well, for which I'm very grateful. But that is the place that you can go. stratamembership.com is the web address to go and check out what we've got on offer inside the membership and how you can get direct access to me and my answers to those questions. Sean is saying, I often wonder about the content of WhatsApp groups operated by committees. Yes. Yeah. Well, Sean, look, in my view, this is just another example of written communication where committee members are communicating owners corporation business in their capacity as committee members, carrying out their functions as committee members, making decisions. That is a record of the owners corporation. Snapshots of that. Can we download WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp channels? Is there a button to do that? I'm not sure, but I'm often taking snapshots of WhatsApp groups and making sure that those snapshots are on the owners corporation's records. Yeah, I think that's a thing. I think that's important. Yeah, Facebook discussion portals. Yeah, definitely. All right. Thanks for this topic, says Jan. Excellent. Pleased that is helpful. And yes, I think your data storage would get very full very quickly. That's right, if you are copying out those WhatsApp chats. Kareem is saying, great podcast to be your first. Is the top 5 of 2024. Kareem made it into the top 5 of 2024. Thank you, Kareem, for that reminder. Top 5 of 2024 was our podcast episode 2 weeks ago, this week's podcast episode with Chris Miller. If you haven't had to listen to that one yet, make sure you dive in over the weekend. All right. I can see, Bill and Ben, your comment there, which I will read out. And then I'm reminded of your question, Bill and Ben, which I will wrap up with. Bill and Ben saying, Christmas card versus Strata committee business is nice and clear, but the grey area in the middle is big. It gets subjective when the committee member thinks it's not going to be in the records, but other members think it does. Tough question that comes back to the specific email where there is no test. Yeah, but I mean, you're either dealing with Strata stuff or you're not, right? I mean, complaining about noise in an apartment, bylaw breaches. I think Jane's specific example related to bylaw breaches where a committee member was involved perhaps in the bylaw breaches, and so those emails were becoming important. Renewal of the Strata manager contract, minutes of meetings, should we hold a meeting? I would have thought the line between it's to do with the Strata community or it's not is pretty clear. But yes, we would need to consider each email and its content based on its specific content, and be careful about that. Bill and Ben did propose a question for today, and I have a little note of it here in front of me. I'm going to read it out. Bill and Ben's question was, Amanda, if you had a magic wand and you could wave it and end all Strata problems, would you do it, given it would mean an end to life as you know it? Very cheeky, Bill and Ben. I know that was said with an LOL. If I had a wand and could solve all Strata problems, I would absolutely have to wave it. How could I not wave that wand in my own self-interest? I would certainly wave that wand and solve all Strata problems in the process, receiving, of course, all of the accolades and all of the thanks and all of the gratitude that would come from you with thanks to me waving my wand. And would it end life as I know it? Well, yeah, I would not necessarily be the Strata lawyer who is helping you to empower you to solve these problems. But there's a lot of good stuff that could be happening in Strata if we were free of these problems, if we stop putting out the bushfires and instead start adding value to our buildings, making improvements. How can we improve our common property? How can we subdivide and sell some of our common property? How can we improve our professional services? Those are all upgrades, improvements, ways to make our communities more attractive, more valuable. I think that'd be a huge role for lawyers in that, and I'd still have plenty to do, even if I had waved my wand and solved all strata problems. Or I'd do something completely different that had nothing to do with strata, because you didn't need me anymore. So I appreciate that question, Bill and Ben. Thank you very much. And indeed, Jane, not sure if you're able to attend live. If you're tuning in, I hope that is helpful for you. Always love talking about records. There is some new legislation that is around, proposed amendments to our national privacy laws focused on data protection, protection of personal information. It is something that is on my list to have a little look at and see whether I think that may have an impact on our strata space and what our strata managers are doing and how we hold, protect, reveal and release private information in strata. Not yet sure whether that's going to have an impact, but there's definitely a lot of talk about that at the moment. It's on my list to have a closer look at. So it won't be the last time that we are talking about records in the near future, that's for sure. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. That is all I have for you for our Ask Amanda Now session today. We'll be back in the usual studio next week to chat with you. I'm going to wish you all a happy, safe, not too wet and windy and wild weekend in Strata. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye for now.